It was a pleasure for me and for us from IED. One moment. I take it, so it's cool. Thank you. It was a pleasure for, is this works? Yes. Oh, that works so much is fatigue. It's okay. Yes, it was a pleasure for us to stay here. Mario, Ivan, sorry. Um, I'm really proud to stay here. Why? You are the one of the new members of Europe. You are a really young country, and you have such a long way to stay on the side or be a part of Europe. And Europe is not naturally country. Europe is not born with the world. Europe is made in the last 60 years by people. And the fundament of Europe and the ground of Europe is to save human rights, to go new ways with respect, and to be everyone inside Europe their own part and their own identity. And why we have our own identity and we want to be really strong in our districts, in our country, in every land that we live, we can be good partners inside of Europe. We have shared values, and all of these values are, we have no discussion. How we speak with people, how is our respect from other people. And the best by Europe is, I take a look at a few. Before many years, nobody asked us in our country, what's the problems with India or what's the problems with America? All of us, we were such small countries, and nobody has any interest what we think, what we do. And together, we have a very strong businesses, and together, we have a really big weight in the whole world. This was never before so. And all the people can make the story of Europe new. And I look on the younger one. My parents, they're everly traveling and on borders. My children, I have 3 adult children, they have never-ending ways. They can travel 24 hours inside Europe, and they have no border. They have big controls. And you, in your beautiful country, you live on the border of Ukraine. This is the only border to Europe where we have such a problem, where this is the shame of the new world to have such a war. When one country comes to the next country and make war there and want their district from a country that was made by democratic and that was made by votes and democratic. And we need a strong young people. They write this story again and again. And I say it again, I'm so proud to stay here. And you have such you built this country new and proudful and glorious, but be a little bit louder. The Slovakian are sorry, I say it every time, they are too still. They are too still, and they don't say what you do. You have a velvet revolution. Sorry, velvet that's what the women like at most. Tell the people about them. Tell what you do, that you are such a strong part of Europe. You build a country new in only 30 years. What we do as German in 80 years, you do it in 30 years. And European people must be the teacher for other countries and for live in freedom, and must be the teachers for other countries to live with different languages, with different feelings, with different arts, together in peace and in respect. And thank you for your respect. Thank you for that, what you do. And Mario, thank you for this good meeting. That is what we do as IED, to bring people together, and we're proud for this. Thank you that you, all of you were our guests. Thank you.
Gabi, thank you so much for primarily, I think what's very precious here is that you do not, again, Micho's word, oppress a certain agenda on the local organizers, but rather allow and catalyze what is important for the region. So thank you very much for that. I will switch to Slovak in a modest attempt to capture at least a bit of the wisdom that we experienced here during this very full day in this agenda.
In the opening addresses, Michael Burzako openly accepted that the time to come will be even more difficult, but underscore that Europe wishes to be visible in the world. And he said European flags have to be raised. Anka Galovichova has attracted us to inner force during crisis and said that a mature person is such that a crisis can maintain its inner balance. The possibility is in all of us, but we have to become aware of it and to work on our wisdom. Alice from European Democrats has spoken about involvement of the young in difficult times. In the society, when you don't know what will happen tomorrow, the young will be involved in activities, although we cannot prejudice the results, but the action counts. The Lord Mayor of Gödöllő, György Gyimesi, has underscored the importance of local communities building and relations among citizens, and said that economic security doesn't suffice. Local communities are most important. Get together at the European Union. Also called for Eurofunds, at the moment being decided upon at the top, will start to be decided at lower level so that they may be drawn by the local communities without being lost elsewhere. This all underscored the serious character of this situation, but has underscored the force of individual, youth, and community in active formation of our society. Janko Fiegel, in the first panel, underscored that unfinished enlargement of the EU, in other words, not including the people, the states from Balkans, has fatal consequences. He said that wisdom is more than muscles and called for for these wise approaches. Gabi Schmidt has said that people are thirsty for Europe, which needs more communication between West and East of Europe. Peace in West is often understood as something granted. It, however, requires attention. There are threats, extremism, and so on. Michal Šoltes was talking about ego and importance of relations. He has said that both Europe and Slovakia have lots of leaders. They, however, don't know of each of them, that united together is necessary. And underscore what puts us together, not away from each other, underscored yin and yang. Communication is not a technology. Communication is getting us closer to community and in relations with people. And just like Janko Fiegel has said, all the freedom is important, but it's not the highest value. The truth is the highest value. It was the free minorities that were forming history. So don't be afraid when there are only 100 of us. People who join other people of the same values and things. Her Excellency, the Ambassador of India, Apurva Srivastava, spoke about permanent bond between India and Slovakia, strategic convergence between the countries, and the joint interest in multipolar order based on human rights and international law, not on jungle, but on values, and on efficient multilateralism, so that institution would function properly, so that small states would not be absorbed by bigger states. It was also spoken about the cooperation between the EU and India, underscoring the important role of India that wants to become by 2027 an advanced country and the second biggest economy in the world. The lady also underscored the importance of developing Slovak-Indian relations, has mentioned the recent last week visit of Madam President of India to Slovakia, and increasing number of Indian people, some 6,000 coming to Slovakia. And it's even more than the Jews and Muslim we have in Slovakia. It seems there is more people from India in Slovakia, and the number grows. Madam Ambassador further spoke about the need to simplify Schengen visas, as Professor Ratore had to wait to the very last moment to be awarded the visa. And Madam Ambassador has underscored that this relationship between India and EU should not be of transactional character, but transformational. Alexander moderated a new panel speaking about different threats: digital, cultural, to European democracy, and emotional threats where truth is under attack. Alexandra has underscored the importance to protect open society, education, creation of the formats for development, and the important models for development in the representative democracy. It is the truth, however, that citizen has the right to be engaged continuously, not only once in 4 years when there are elections. Grisha Messerschnikow has said that there is no era where communication technologies would not lead us to improvements. However, nobody doubts about the threats coming from these different hybrid threats. Also mentioned that populism has become dangerous once populists get power, and they start to behave irresponsibly to population and launch digital curtains, build virtual realities where the truth is non-existent and everything is possible. This wasn't said by Grisha, but Peter Pomerantsev. The challenge for Democrats is to create certain mechanisms so that these technologies cannot be abused at the expense of people. First time in the history of people, we have a digital population. My 2 sons are not deciphering that this is in a mobile and this is in the outer world. For them, is everything real. She said, digital citizenship is not a possibility, it is fundamental. And Lieutenant Lula really looked at all this from the point of youth. Professor Rattore has thought about the paradox of digital world without borders, touching the physical borders. In physical worlds, the borders exist. In digital world, no. So we have to unify ourselves and do the right way in these areas. He underscored friendship, because then we don't compete with each other. And as virtual world is a very strong domain, he proposed creation of digital society of spiritual souls interconnected. We also should introduce academic program on spirituality for younger generation. Mayo has summarized the roundtable of young people and of young leaders, the roundtable, a parallel activity but linked to our main agenda. It resulted in the fact that Europeans are strongly interested in increasing defense capabilities. We have to face lots of threats. The coalition of willing seems to be more realistic than joint army. However, in medium and long term, achieving the joint purpose, the unity of purpose, some kind of joint aim which goes beyond these individual domains of the states. And the young leaders propose us to go further in the narrative from European army to European defense. Let us talk more about defense so that we are more supported politically, and do it not via revolution, but via gradual steps, starting from regional cooperation in Benelux, Central Europe, Baltic states. And they didn't forget to underscore that we have to support citizens' preparedness for this, not only this power instrument, to be inspired by the Finnish example of quality above quantity. They also spoke about reducing reliance on the US. Learn from Ukraine, the most recent armed conflict. The heroes in Ukraine developed very interesting, very innovating approaches, not only in approaches but also technologies in order to defend their dear country. To have a panel focusing on hybrid threats. We have learned that the life is not stable, but despite anti-hybrid infrastructure, it is very important by Marcel Peszko to empower the whole society, as the actual fight is at the level of civil society as well, maybe local level. The mayors and the regional leaders, the leaders of the regions, they all have to underscore we want to be members of democratic family with all its value. The panelists, and in particular Philippe Michel, has underscored that Putin doesn't listen to what we say. He, however, observes what we do and what we not to do. If we want to stop him, we have to act. Hybrid threats are not a technical problem. It's more an issue of thinking. And political activities and intentions of governments, as they are often behind those hybrid threats, aiming at decreasing, weakening the democracy and supporting autocracy. And Russia has been mentioned as the main actor of hybrid threats in Europe, and Slovakia as the most endangered, vulnerable state in this respect. And we have to understand that Russia wages war against the Western countries. So we have to invest better, more, coordinate better to know where from attacks come. Military activity will be combined with propaganda, perhaps combined with an attack on nuclear power station or local unrest. So it is very important to understand all this in this coordinative way. Fast political changes in the member state of EU, that's another worry, as they may dramatically change the foreign policy for better, but also for worse. Generation Z, as Branio Kovacic, from the Dean, from the Faculty of Political Science, has said that Generation Z is the normal and default generation here, and once disappointed from democracy, may really turn over their values. They're not as stable among young. The enemy that acts kind of or in an organized way in a digital world has to be approached in the same way. And protection of critical structures, the attack on cadastre office, the really requires investment. Or another thing, we cannot expect universities to protect themselves alone from these kind of attacks, just like many other smaller institutions. In respect to non-European social media, including the US ones, it is not unimportant who owns the media, whether it's the authoritarian regime, just like a Communist Party in China owns TikTok. There was call to cooperate with the US, not to resign on this cooperation, thanks to Gregor. As not all support in the US, the US administration, maybe some 50% only. And the final panel we've listened to a while ago has said that future is not something which simply happens, but it is something that we create together. And Micho Vlahovic has warned that we've become witnesses of a dramatic turnover, not in the right way. And we may speak about the community in crisis. At the same time, however, he said that Central European countries and Baltic and Estonia and Lithuania, Latvia, they understand better Baltic. And so enlargement of EU should progress. It is at the moment frozen. So enlargement would be very important. At the same time, when we ask what to do immediately now, Micho said, defeat Russia and liberate Ukraine. It is important for all of us. And Alexandra has underscored the voice of citizens. We have to engage them. We have to stop build Europe in their back. We have to go to the regions, talk to people. She also reminded us of the fact that Europe will not do anything to you, but to ask yourselves what you can do for Europe, the one you wish to have. In the end, Anka has brought a thought saying that mind is much stronger than whatever acts. And the panel has added, despite the crisis, important is to listen to people, engage the people. So what you've heard just now is thanks to the young people in the Institute of European Democrats have been sending me their thoughts, and I was taking some notes, polished it. It was polished, but the AI, and still human factor checked it so that it's safe. Still, AI produces some hallucinations. So thank you very much. I thank very much that Institute of European Democrats have allowed us all to meet here, create such a nice community at the moment, to get encouragement for each other, connects for future. It was all done under the auspices of Madam Ambassador of India and with the participation of the Slovak Indian Friendship Institute, the Faculty of Political Science, Otvorená hra, Open Academy, Institute for Public Questions, Confident Slovakia, and Euro-Atlantic Center. Let us have very pleasant moments in the foyer, and we're looking forward to meet you again soon, perhaps already in autumn. All the best to all of you. It's been very nice to be here together. Thank you.